happy whenever this video goes up. It's a bit early, and as you can probably hear, my very, very loud fan is going off in the background. And today, I just wanted to quickly talk about an anime I watched through on Netflix that I didn't like. I thought it was kind of really bad. So, yes, I'm going to go into that. I'm going to also just read out some of the warnings, like content warnings for this video. There's some blood, gun violence, sexualization of minors, and I will talk about that directly, and sexual assault, which I will also talk about directly. And I am going to try and talk about this anime without completely spoiling it, but if you want to go in blind, I just recommend watching the show first, even though I didn't care for it. I mean, I'm not your boss. So I'm going to try and quickly recap the show. So, to quickly recap the show, High Rise Invasion is about a high school girl, please keep in mind the word high school girl, named Yuri, who's teleported into a strange world where there's skyscrapers she can't seem to escape, and Yuri must fight against many of these unnerving masked assassins to find her brother. And that's about it. It sets up, there's a lot of twists and turns, and she meets some people along the way, but that's kind of the main premise of the show. She's in this skyscraper world where violence is always the answer. It's also the question, and it's the answer, but you kind of have to fight for your life in this world. That's about it for the recap, and now I'm gonna get into what I like and don't like about this series. First, I'm going to tackle what I do like, because it's pretty short and it won't take me too long, so here it is. I like the concept of the show. It kind of reminds me of Sword Art Online and Death Note. I liked Death Note, and I watched Sword Art Online in middle school, so I'm very biased on that side, but I liked both of these shows, and in particular Death Note was very well thought out until a certain episode mark that I'm not going to talk about, and Sword Art Online hit me right when I was starting to get into anime, so my opinion on that is so biased. But anyway, another thing I liked about this show was that the twists were pretty good. If you watch a show, the plot is semi-interesting, and I really liked the animation. The animation was really nice. It was smooth. There was some really interesting angles and fight scenes, and movement was always kind of fine to watch. But now I'm going to get into what I don't like about the show, and this side is when it's going to get very, very long and rambly. Okay, so this part's going to kind of be less structured, but I'm just going to kind of follow a flow chart of my thoughts. So, the show made me hella uncomfortable. The anime immediately sexualizes the main girl and any sidekick she collects along the way, and that is true for almost every woman in the show, which I didn't like. And call me a woke feminist, but I don't like that these young girls are immediately sexualized by the camera. It's just so gross to me. I don't understand why they needed to have certain shots and certain scenes. The opening scene was awful. She's almost assaulted by this officer, and I was just thinking, I was what is necessary about this scene? She could have easily just been mugged or something else, and they chose to do one of the most violent crimes you could do onto another person. That's just so awful to me. Why did they need to do that? Who wrote that? If you wanted to show how violent a world is, the guy could have just jumped her and asked for her money. They didn't need to have this a horrifying assault scene before the main action of the show. It just felt so unnecessary to me. And I look at it even more sideways because this isn't true for any of the men in the series. They're treated much better by the camera, and they don't seem to get any of the like uncomfortable scenes. Like if someone gets attacked, the men won't have their clothes torn in a way that's oddly sexual. And for example, so Yuri is in battle and she gets part of her skirt torn, and it stays like that for the entire series, and it just kind of is there, in my opinion, to show off her thigh, which is gross. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't care for it. And it's just, and like you compare this to any dude in the series, like some guy walks around in a full tux that does not get affected at all. Like, come on, man, seriously? Anyway, I'm about to get into more stuff I don't like about the show. The romance between Yuri and Mayakovsky was like never explored, and I kind of saw it used as fan service, or even worse, a joke. Also, sorry I pronounced her name wrong. It's Mayuko, but I hate all these characters, so I don't really care. My document just autocorrected her name. So anyway, they treated her feelings for Yuri as kind of a joke, or like a punchline. Like, she'd just get jealous over stuff, but like, come on, if you're gonna do something like this, then bite the bullet. Don't just throw in this one thing and then not go into it. At least that's my take. I'm sure someone else would have another opinion, but my take is, if you're going to imply a character is like not straight, you could just, like kind of treat their feelings as not a joke, which is really strange to me. And also, like, to go back to the romance between Mayuko and Yuri, they like never, like, they refer to each other as sisters, which is kind of gross, and they never showed Mayuko being uncomfortable with that, which is also gross when you think that she like liked her. But now I'm gonna go into what I was like mentioning when comparing Mayuko and Yuri's relationship is the other one between, her name was Kunan and Sniper Mask, because while their ages were never dropped, he's implied to be an adult and she's a minor, and like, look at the clothes. I'm gonna call it no clipping. I'm sure there's a term they dropped in the show, but this show was so, I had to watch it on 2x speed. They no clipped in like a suit, and she no clipped in like an outfit from a school, so not a great look. And now I'm gonna get into some of the other things I found like bothersome about the show. So, the final note, I guess, I hate everybody in this show. They're all annoying. The main character is annoying. She's just perfect, good, and strong, and fan serviced way too much for a child. She's like Naruto if Naruto was 10 times more annoying and like was oddly always like never affected by her surroundings. At least Naruto know when to serious up. This chick never serious up. The main villain was annoying. A little bit of spoilers, but they introduced who's kind of in charge of everything, and he was annoying. And they did like a boob joke with him, and I just hated that too. I was like, oh my god, are we really doing this? Like, come on. And then there was the blonde girl who, Mayuko. I honestly didn't find her that annoying. I think she's the character I liked the most leaving the show, but she was still sexualized, even though she was implied to be a child because she has school clothes on. And yeah, I'm looking sideways at that. And then Sniper Mask, he was kind of rude, but he's the only one the show treated like he actually had like thinking thoughts and emotions. So I didn't hate him that much. But now we're going into the character I hated the most, Kyuan. I hated her so much. Her voice was annoying. She had these like weird god powers, but whenever she used them, it didn't, like, the scene could have done without it, in my opinion at least. And like they made her have a crush on a full-grown adult, which is the boldest of choices. She, like, everything about this character I don't like. I don't like how she like talked to other people. I found that so annoying as well. I just didn't like this character at all. Like, if she made me want to die, I was just, ugh. And they also just spent way too much time on this character and her weird relationship with Sniper Mask, which, like, ew, like, do we really need to do this? I did not care for that character at all. But, and now I'm going to talk about the fan service. And honestly, since I don't really want to go through the show to get clips for this section, I'm just gonna quickly say there was too much fan service in this show, especially from children, oddly enough, and only women. Not that it would have made it better if it was men as well, but I feel like it's worse when it's young women, like children, like girls. Like, come on, man. Are we really doing this? Do we really need to get fan service in an action show? Like, this show wants to treat itself like it's so smart, and then it's like, well, let's get as many underwear, boob, and thigh shots as we can possibly cram into this show. Like, come on. It's like, seriously? Ugh. But anyway, that's kind of the end of my little ramble here. I know I haven't posted in a while, and that's because rubber hit the road in school, but now that I'm on break, I should have more time to kind of make some more videos and content. It's just been a hot minute, you know, and looking back, my soccer video kind of went off, so I think I'm gonna make a follow-up video where I talk about my thoughts from the series and maybe do like some responses to some of the comments, because I got some really well thought out comments and I just wanted to make a follow-up video for that because I've kind of done some reading. I feel like I should have bought some of the manga, but I had no money, so maybe later on, if this goes well, I might like buy a behind the scenes book for Naruto and just kind of talk about that. Anyway, I hope you've had a lovely day. I'm going to go and enjoy time with myself and my family for the holidays. Happy holidays. Bye.